What if I told you China didn't accidentally become the world's electric vehicle superpower? It wasn't just cheap labor, it wasn't just subsidies, and it definitely wasn't luck. It was a plan. In 2015, China quietly launched a national industrial strategy called Made in China 2025, a blueprint designed to move China from the world's factory to the world's technology manufacturer. And hidden inside that plan was one category that would go from promising to completely unstoppable: new energy vehicles. Made in China 2025 was not a slogan, and it was not a marketing campaign. It was a state-level manufacturing upgrade plan with clear milestones, clear priorities, and clear consequences. The goal was simple but ambitious. First, reduce China's dependence on foreign technology and critical industries. Second, build domestic champions that could compete globally. And third, increase local control over what policymakers called core components and materials. In other words, China didn't just want to assemble products, it wanted to control the most valuable parts of the supply chain. And for electric vehicles, that meant something very specific. Not just cars, but batteries, motors, power electronics, software, factories, and the machines that build those factories. When people talk about China's EV dominance, they usually point to one thing: low prices. But price is not the real advantage. The real advantage is system-level control. Because an electric vehicle is not just a car, it is three industries fused into one. First, the battery industry. Whoever controls batteries controls cost, scale, and survival. China didn't just invest in battery factories, it invested in materials, chemistry, processing, and logistics. Second, electronics and power control. EVs are computers on wheels, inverters, battery management systems, power semiconductors. This is where manufacturing precision matters. And third, automation at scale. Not one futuristic factory, but entire regions synchronized to build vehicles faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than anyone else on Earth. Here's where Made in China 2025 stops being theory and starts becoming reality. This plan did not sit on paper. It turned into factories, supply chains, and volume. First, demand engineering. China used incentives, tax breaks, and local perks to pull millions of consumers into electric vehicles. The result? Scale. And scale changes everything. Second, production mandates. Automakers weren't just encouraged to build EVs, they were required to. If you wanted to sell cars in China, you had to participate in the EV transition. Third, supplier localization. Critical components were pushed to localize. Batteries, motors, electronics, manufacturing equipment. The goal wasn't isolation, it was resilience. Fourth, financing and industrial clustering. Local governments competed to host EV factories and battery plants. Entire cities reorganized around electric vehicle production. And finally, standards and roadmaps. Quietly, methodically, China aligned policy, capital, and industry around the same destination. So, what did all of this produce? China became the world's largest EV manufacturer, and China became the center of gravity for electric vehicle innovation. Once you combine volume, local supply chains, intense competition, and automation, costs fall, quality rises, and innovation accelerates. This wasn't just industrial growth, it was manufacturing momentum. But every master plan creates side effects: overcapacity. When too many factories come online at once, competition becomes brutal. Margins shrink. Weak players disappear. Strong players absorb the rest. And then came global attention. As Chinese EVs began flowing outward, governments around the world started asking uncomfortable questions about fairness, about dependence, about industrial security. The success of Made in China 2025 triggered a response, and that response would reshape the global EV market. Made in China 2025 didn't just help China build electric vehicles. It helped China build the factories that build the vehicles, the batteries that power them, and the ecosystems that keep costs falling. And that's why the EV race isn't really about cars. It's about systems, industrial systems. Because whoever controls the EV stack doesn't just sell vehicles, but set the pace of the future. And this was only the beginning.